The last week was VCF West, and I decided to visit it. So I flew into San Francisco, which actually was my first time going to a VCF event. The first thing we did was actually went and visited Yosemite and some other national parks. Man, look at that massive cliff. That is a huge cliff. I don't know how people climb that thing. But there's some hiking trails in Yosemite that were pretty cool. And we went up to a place called Taft Point, which you can see Yosemite Valley from, and you can see El Capitan from here as well. And that thing is really cool, but also pretty scary on the edge. Once we got off the mountain, we went to Napa Valley, and look at those grapes. They're not ready. And then we went to the coast, and I've been to the coast quite a bit of times. We drove down Highway 1 a few times, and there's always something new to discover. The coast is a really beautiful place and one of the best places in California. But then we went to San Francisco and went through Golden Gate Bridge, and we were ready for VCF. Like I said, this was my first time going to a VCF event, so I had no idea what to expect. But once I got my ticket and went inside, the first thing that I saw was these game consoles, Atari computers, consoles, whatever we want to call it. I guess it's a computer. And there's also this game called Web Warp. I've never seen this game before, but I gave it a shot to see if I can actually play it. I have no idea what to do with that. I guess you fly with this bird and try not to get hit by whatever that is. Probably spiders. I have no idea what that is, but yeah, I wasn't very good at the game. And there were some other game consoles and computers. We have a Commodore here and Atari. And another one which I've never seen before. I have no idea what that is. And of course, my favorite part is these vintage computer literature that I enjoy collecting. I like old computer books, manuals, and things like that. So I thought I would browse a little bit through it. This guy was actually selling them, and I wanted to get some, but unfortunately I didn't have much room in my luggage to take back home. And some Cobra 1 computers, and these actually are Polish computers. This is from 1984. I've actually never seen this computer before, but I thought they would look pretty cool. And this was actually a reproduction, it seemed like. This wood grain was pretty cool, I thought, and also that little printer. Just thought I'll take a picture of it just because of the wood grain. This Radio Shack computer TRS-80, I've always wanted one. I've seen a couple available online, and either they weren't working or they were slightly damaged, so I didn't get one, but I do want to get one at some point. And it looks like this one actually loads into BASIC, and somebody was trying to use it. And I thought I would actually type in a small BASIC program in here, and I'm actually typing 10, print hello. I guess I meant to say hello world. And then I said go to 10, but I forgot the line number 20, so it didn't actually repeat itself. But I mean, it ran, it said hello. An Apolisa. Yeah, that's a pretty cool computer, but unfortunately it's too expensive for my wallet. But yeah, it's a cool computer to have. I've never seen an Amiga tower. Wow. Nice. I then came across this terminal, which actually was connected to a control data computer. It's a control data 160A computer. It's a desk computer. And I actually have a computer similar to this. It's also control data. But yeah, that would look pretty cool. Then there were these S100 computers. The Altair 8800 that we built on this channel is an S100. But man, look at this one. This has all kinds of cars in here. It has a couple of cars that we have in the Altair as well. But this specific one is actually running Intel 486. Yeah, you can do a lot with these S100 systems. The IMSA 8080 is also an S100 computer. Very similar to the Altair 8080. I think they look pretty cool. I like the switches and the lights of this computer. Hey, look, blinking lights. I have no idea what this thing's doing, but it's meant to attract people, and hey, you have my attention. Yeah, I think what this is actually doing is writing some data onto these oscilloscopes. That'll be my guess. As you can see, it's drawing some graphs on the oscilloscopes. I then came across this Magic Wand homebrew CPU, and this is actually a wire-wrapped one. You can't really see the internals, but there's a piece right there, a sample of it. And man, so many lights on this computer. That's pretty crazy. There's a menu version right beside it, and man, look at all those blinking lights. I don't know why, but people always like blinking lights for some reason. This front panel is actually a PCB that was printed on, I think, one of those Chinese PCB fabrications did that. There's actually a lot of people at VCF West. Of course, I've never been to one, but this looks like a lot to me. And then I walked past a couple of, I guess, quote-unquote modern computers. Got some Windows XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7. I don't know about you, but these are actually pretty nostalgic to me personally. I just remember playing with these when I was a little younger, like in the early 2000s. They were pretty cool. Hey, is that my soldering station? Oh, no, it's not. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. I do want to get us a nice setup at one point, if the wallet allows it. If you can see in the background, there's actually a magnifying video. I want to get that thing at one point because that is actually pretty useful to have whenever repairing. A see-through Mac Classic. Cool. And a bunch of Wise terminals. I do have a couple of these here at home. I do want to get some of these other ones that are on here, and they seem to be connected to some computer here via some serial interface. Yeah, I've never seen this thing before. It looks cool. And man, guys, check this out. Look at these massive monitors. These are Apple displays. Man, that guy on the left is a huge guy, but man, those monitors are massive. That is pretty cool. I do want to get one of these. I mean, my monitor right now, my modern monitor, is actually smaller than that. How about some rack mountable computers? These are actually pretty cool. You can actually add and remove items on this computer. I just thought it was pretty cool. I like rack mountable equipment. This particular computer is actually controlling external devices. So here it's actually turning on and off a fan and also a little light that comes on and off. The idea of controlling external devices like a light switch or some sort of lock is just so retro to me. I just remember watching the Science Guy, Bill Nye the Science Guy, and just watching all those computers and lights flashing. I thought that was pretty cool. I always wanted to build a setup like that for myself. And a couple of other old computers that some of them I've never seen, some of them I have seen. But yeah, I just wanted to stroll by and take a look at that. And check this out, an Apple One. This one's actually a replica from 2016. But man, look at that keyboard, wood grain. I really like that. It looks pretty cool. The one beside is also a Apple One. I think this is a replica as well. The keyboard might be an original, but you never know nowadays. Some of these replicas look very original to me. Right next to this exhibit was actually some Soviet computers, and yeah, I actually like exploring Soviet computers. As some of you may know, I have a Soviet background. In fact, I'm originally from Ukraine, but yeah, all those Cyrillic characters on the computers. Of course, these actually are, at least they look like they're replicas. They just look too clean to be originals. But yeah, I like old Soviet computers. And a PDP-10. This one was actually not working when I was recording it, but PDPs are pretty aesthetically pleasing. I like all those lights and switches, and I actually enjoy pretty much all digital equipment. I then strolled down to the actual museum part of the building and went to the PDP-1 room. There was nobody there to actually demonstrate the computer, unfortunately, but we can see the display there, and a teletype or some way to enter data, and also a tape reader. Yeah, that looks pretty cool. This is the first PDP that was made, and the room next door was actually an IBM computer, if I'm not mistaken, and unfortunately it was actually filled with people, so I didn't really spend too much time there. I have no idea what this is, guys. It looks like some kind of robot. It looked really weird, so I stayed away from it. This is a teletype, and I think it's an ASR33. I do want to get one of these at some point. I saw one on Facebook Marketplace for $1,000 at one point, but it was just way too far for me to drive. I then skipped over quite a bit of stuff. Of course, I took my time in it, but I would actually recommend checking out the CHM Computer History Museum in San Francisco. It's actually in Mountain View. It has a lot of cool stuff. If you enjoy this kind of stuff, check it out. Guys, check out all those transformers for this machine. Wow. That is, I guess, T15, 15 of them. This is an LGP computer. I think this is an LGP 30. I actually have an LGP 21, and it's a newer version, albeit slower. But yeah, it's as big as that, almost as big. This is the teletype for it. I do have an LGP 21. If anybody comes across an LGP 21 teletype, I guess it looks like a typewriter, let me know, because I've been looking for one. It's just really hard to find. This computer here had, this is like the CPU part, so you can see register A, register B, and these things are huge. So like if you try to compare it to nowadays, I mean, back then they were pretty big. And these tape readers, writers, whatever they're called, I don't know if you guys seen Lost, and they have these spinning in the background. I think they look pretty cool. I actually enjoy watching Lost just for that. What is this monstrosity, guys? I have no idea how they actually keep track of all those wires. But yeah, this is actually a supercomputer, and yeah, I have no idea how they actually managed all those wires. That's a total mess. And here's another one. I mean, I guess you could use the color of the wires, but man, I have no idea. I would actually go crazy if I had to maintain it. I'm just going to skip through a couple of these exhibitions because, I mean, you got to visit the Computer History Museum on your own at one point. I can't give everything away, but yeah, a couple of deck and PDPs and other cool stuff that I'm just gonna skip over and move on to something. Look at that, $10,000 for that computer. A Xerox. This is actually the first computer with a graphical user interface, which supposedly Apple and Microsoft actually stole from. But yeah, it's cool to see it in a museum. And an Altair 8080. Guys, we built this one on the channel, if you remember. And then came across an original Apple one. This one's actually missing a voltage regulator, the 5-volt voltage regulator. I don't know why it's not there. Curious. And an SWT PC 6800 computer. I want to get one of these computers. They're like in the Altair. I like the aesthetics. I like how it looks. It just looks so simple and plain. And right beside it is a Sol terminal computer, which I also think looks pretty cool. And check out right under it. That's right, it's a TV typewriter. This is Don Lancaster's TV typewriter, and we actually built it on this channel. Of course, ours looked a little bit different because the enclosure was different, but this is actually the way the prototype looked. And by the way, I still have a couple of PCBs available for sale if anybody's interested of these for this typewriter. This is a pretty cool device. And above that is a Kimbek one. We also built this on our channel here. Ours looks almost exactly like it, the enclosure and everything. I have some PCBs available still. Of course, they're reproduction PCBs. But yeah, it's a pretty cool computer. It's one of those first computers that was available for sale to the public or something like that. And under is a microcomputer. I believe this is a French computer. It may have been the first computer with a microprocessor, and I wanted to recreate it as well, but unfortunately there's not a lot of information available online about it, no schematics or anything like that. I do have some images of the PCBs, but that's probably not enough. And right under that is none other but a Selby 8B, which we're actually currently building on the channel. In the process of making an I/O device for it. I'm going to release a video of that very soon, so be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. I also got a side shot just to see what it looks like on the side. You know, it's always good to have close-ups and things like that whenever you're building some device. A Compact Desk Pro. I actually have one of these at home, which I've been trying to revive for quite a long time, but I haven't been able to. Not yet, at least. I then strolled past different PDAs and smartphones, or I guess phones in general, and laptops and tablets and things like that. I find it interesting, but I didn't really have too much time, so I had to kind of speed things up a bit. And lastly, I came across this Google server rack, which was supposedly the first server rack that Google used in the early days. So if you actually used Google in the early days, like 1995, 96, whenever it came out, your traffic actually went through it. Thought it was pretty cool. That was it for the day. Unfortunately, I had to get in my car and get going to the airport because it was time to go home. It was actually a pretty fun experience. I would actually recommend others to actually try it out. But yeah, I had to get on the plane and head back home. Thank you for watching this video, guys. If you enjoyed watching it, don't forget to click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I will be posting a video soon of some other Selby work that I've been working. Like I mentioned, I'm building an I/O device, so I'll be posting a video soon. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.